By the end of Chapter 5, you'll have learned 4 different ways to solve a system of equations. You'll learn about solving them with tables, graphing, substitution, and elimination. Actually, Section 5.1 went through tables and graphing. This video is going to cover Section 5.2, which is substitution. And then after that, we'll look at yet another way called elimination. After that, you'll take a quiz on solving systems of equations. So in this lesson, I'm going to take one system of equations, shown right there, and I'm going to solve it with tables, then with graphing, and then I'll show you the new method, substitution. Okay, so to solve this system with tables, let's make a table in red to go with y equals 2x minus 3. Alright, so let's plug in some values for x and see what we get for y. If x is 0, plug in a 0, I get 2 times 0, that's 0, minus 3, negative 3. And if I plug in a 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 minus 3 is negative 1. If I plug in a 2, I get 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 3 is 1. If I plug in a 3, at this point you might just follow the pattern. You're starting at negative 3, and you go up 2 each time. So this is going to be 3. Okay, let's go ahead and make another table in blue for 3x plus 4y equals 10. So x, y. Alright, suppose x is 0. Alright, well then you have 3 times 0, that's 0. So 4 times y has to be 10. So let's think about that. If 4y is equal to 10, that means that y would be equal to 10 fourths, which reduces to 5 halves, or a lot of students prefer decimals. Okay, 2.5. So 0, negative 3, 0, 2.5, that's not a solution to the system. So let's go on. Plugging in a 1 for x the arithmetic is a little tricky. So let's go ahead and plug in a 2 for x. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then we need to add something to that to get 10. It's got to be 6 plus 4. So y must be 1, because this would be 3 times 2, 6, 4 times 1 is 4, 6 plus 4 is 10. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the table there, because notice that 2, 1 is on both tables. So that means the solution to this system, I wanted to make this there, is 2, 1. Okay, so that's how you solve it using a table. Sometimes tables aren't very efficient because you would just have to keep going until you found a match, and that could take a while. So maybe it would be good to look at solving a system by graphing instead. So I'm going to do the same thing here. In red, let's graph y equals 2x minus 3. Well, negative 3 is the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3. And the slope is 2. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and so on. And I'm not so good at drawing these lines, but there you go. Alright, now to graph the other one, we're going to have to put it in slope-intercept form. So let's subtract 3x from both sides, and I get 10 minus 3x. Now let's divide both sides by 4, and I get y equals 10 fourths minus 3 fourths x. And I could reduce or write as a decimal, so 10 fourths is 2.5 minus, I'm going to go ahead and leave 3 fourths as a fraction because that's the slope. So this one has a y-intercept of 2.5 and a slope of negative 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there. And if I, oops, let's see if I can do this. If I connect those points, notice that the solution to the system is this point of intersection right here, which we had found on the previous screen using tables, 2, 1. So you can graph the two lines, find the point of intersection, that's the solution to the system. Okay, so here comes the new method, substitution. So substitution is some high-powered algebra, so get ready. What we're going to do, we are going to take this equation, 3x plus 4y equals 10, but instead of, okay, wait, that's not right. Let me start that over. Sorry about that. Okay, so starting over. We're going to take 3x plus 4y equals 10, but instead of writing y, notice this first equation states that y is equal to 2, oops, sorry about that. Y is equal to